Hey everybody, welcome to an election day edition of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and of course the YouTube channel. Real quick before I get into questions, the top 25 greatest matches list in WWE history is now complete. You can check out all the matches in a playlist at the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. Now that that's out of the way, let's get right down to the questions. This is from Dan 2007. It seems like Vince McMahon cannot stick to an idea as the main event has once again been changed. When will Vince actually stick to an idea instead of changing it a week later? I've gotten a lot of questions about the big change for Survivor Series and what are my thoughts, why did it happen? You ask here, when will Vince stick to an idea? I think he'll stick to an idea when it works. When it doesn't work, he changes his mind. And that was the case here. I talked about last week how I personally felt that the announcement of the Survivor Series match was very underwhelming and I wasn't feeling it, and apparently I wasn't the only one. Not just the fans, but people in WWE, Vince McMahon, they realized that it just wasn't the kind of match you want to headline one of your biggest pay-per-views of the year. So Vince decided that you need to have a WWE title match at one of your big shows, and the change was made. The WWE title match is now set for Survivor Series. Ryback versus John Cena versus the WWE Champion CM Punk, a triple threat, which was the original plan. I mean, that was the match I was expecting to see at Survivor Series. I figured that was the next logical step, and then WWE did that Survivor Series elimination match announcement, and that was something I wasn't expecting, and like I said, I wasn't really feeling it, and I think WWE needed to make this change. I think that you need to have a WWE title match at Survivor Series, and doing the triple threat is the next logical step. And I think they made the right move here. They realized they made a mistake, and they had to correct that mistake. But yeah, it's sloppy booking, sloppy writing, and hopefully in the future, I mean, it's that big problem where WWE doesn't do long-term planning and they change week to week, and it really does water down the product and bring it down a lot. So hopefully they'll have better ideas and they'll be able to stick with those ideas and continue to move forward. This is from Spazzy Noodles. What did you think about the England fans at Raw this Monday? I got a lot of questions about the fans at Raw this week. The fans at Raw were awesome. It was a very entertaining Raw, a lot of it due to the fans. The fans really made that show. And that's usually the case when WWE goes overseas for these Raws. And somebody else asked me, why are the English fans so much more into the product than the American fans? And I think part of it is because WWE only goes into the UK a couple times a year. So the fans there are really thirsty for live WWE action. So when they get it, they're really enthusiastic. And I just think that there's a large, hardcore fan base of WWE fans. The fans that attend the Raw shows have been watching for many years. WWE has a strong fan base there. And, you know, they were chanting, "What?" So it's clear that these are fans going back to the Attitude Era and even before that. And yeah, it's just the fact that England, the UK, they have a very large fan base there, and they're very vocal and they're very enthusiastic, and it made for a great Raw. And you know, I've gotten some criticism about my top 25 list. People saying that I factor in crowd heat too much as a reason for my rankings, but the crowd can really make or break a match or a pay-per-view. The crowd plays an important role, and I think when they're into it, it makes you, the viewer, more excited. So I definitely think that crowd heat is important, and that's one of the reasons I would give Raw a thumbs up this week, just because of the crowd. Hey Aaron, after watching Raw from... Oh, this was that other guy's question, so skip that. This is from BCrew16. Hey Aaron, is there a right age range to become world champion? Not really. It doesn't really matter all that much, but I think in order for it to be the most believable, it should be somewhere like around 30. When a guy wins a world title too soon as a rookie, it's hard to believe that somebody with the lack of experience would win the title. And not just that, but also behind the scenes, when you push a guy who's really young, he could develop a big ego, and sometimes it's better to let that guy pay his dues and be in the business for a while before you put the world title on him. So doing it at a young age, it does have its pros. Like Brock Lesnar came in and won the title really young, and he just mowed through everybody. And obviously, somebody who's young is gonna it will be believable in the sense that this guy has a lot of energy and he's hungry. But yeah, the experience plays a factor as well. I think like somewhere around 30 is the perfect age. And then when the guy's older, when he's into his 40s and he wins the world title, it's not believable because, you know, he's broken down and, you know, they can do the whole comeback story, and sometimes that works. But usually the most believable age range would be somewhere in the early 30s. And when you're putting the world title on somebody too, you want to build your company around somebody who's relatively young, somebody who you know you can invest everything, all the money into this person, and they will continue to hold, their body will continue to hold up. This one comes from Bubba Cam. Hey Aaron, big fan from London, England. My question is, where would you rank Bully Ray / Bubba Ray Dudley on mic skills, and what is your thoughts on him turning face with a name called Bully Ray? Please answer on video. Cheers. Wow, it's 5. The 5 words of doom now instead of the 4 words of doom. Please answer on video. Cheers. My thoughts on Bully Ray, I think that he is tremendous on the mic. I think he can play either role. He can be a great babyface. He can be a great heel. And I don't think it really matters that his name is Bully Ray and he's a babyface. I think he's kind of got that Stone Cold Steve Austin thing going on right now, where he's this this badass, hard-ass character, but he's such a badass that you want to cheer for him, and he's like an anti-hero type of character. So it works for me, and I really like Bully Ray's run in TNA. I think that he's definitely had a career resurgence this past year or two, and he's been doing great. He lost a lot of weight, and he's been doing some of the best work of his career, so I say good for him. This is from Tom09 Hair. Hey Aaron, your thoughts on Turning Point? I think the card looks exciting and has the potential to be a good show. It should be a good show. Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries, a rematch from Bound for Glory. That should be a good match. Daniels and Kazarian versus Chavo and Hernandez. That'll be a really good match. Kurt Angle versus Devon. So top to bottom, it's a solid card from TNA. I mean, that's never really a big problem with TNA. They got a lot of talented in-ring performers, so more times than not, the matches are solid, and sometimes they're really good, depending on who's in it. If you have Kurt Angle in there, you're almost always guaranteed a good match. Same thing with AJ Styles. He's got the match with James Storm and Bobby Roode. That should be a really good match. So, I mean, if you're looking for good wrestling action, Turning Point should deliver. Now, as far as the storylines and the writing goes, that's a different thing, and it could be a mixed bag. And you know, one of the big problems with TNA is, you know, it's in the Impact Zone as usual, so the crowd heat could be an issue. It would definitely be better if they were on the road and they were in a town that was really enthusiastic about TNA. Hasn't, you know, going back to that earlier question, that the problem with Orlando is that these fans have seen TNA time and time again, and they're not really hungry for it. So it's good for TNA to go on the road. You know, it's unfortunate that they struggle so much to draw, because if there were fans out there hungry for TNA action and they were into the show, that would really help a lot. So the crowd heat could be a problem, but you know, in terms of in-ring action, Turning Point should be a very solid show. Which wrestler has the best beard? Current wrestler. Well, I'd have to go with Daniel Bryan. He's got the goat face beard, and it's become a gimmick for him, and they even have those little masks or whatever, the goat face masks. So he's profiting off of the beard. So I would go with Daniel Bryan. This is from Rusty Wright. Greetings from North Carolina. What are your thoughts on Jake the Snake Roberts working with DDP to make one last run? Please answer in video. Thanks. I hope Jake is able to have a good comeback and make one last run. I think that would be great. I think that if there's anybody that could help him out, DDP would be that guy. I hope that the yoga works for Jake the Snake, and it's good for him to try to clear his mind and try to get his body healthy. I think that DDP is a positive person, and that's what Jake needs. He needs some positivity, and he needs the motivation, and I hope it works for him. I really do. And I'd love to see Jake have one last run, maybe even have one last WWE match. That would be awesome to see. This is from Nick Made Visible. What is happening with the people who participated in Gut Check and got contracts? They haven't been on TV at all, aside from Joey Ryan. Well, it is what it is. TNA did the whole Gut Check thing as a way to try to boost up ratings and just have something different on their television program. So it's really just a gimmick, and I'm not surprised that a lot of the performers from Gut Check haven't been seen since. I just wasn't expecting much out of that. And Joey Ryan was kind of like a predetermined thing that he would be a regular in TNA. And I talked about this months ago when they were bringing in Joey Ryan. I thought of all the guys. I watched him in PWG, and he's really the only guy I think. I wasn't even familiar with the other guys. I know Joey Ryan for years, and he's one guy I think that at least deserves a spot on the roster. He's not the biggest guy, and he's not the best talker, and his gimmick is very old-fashioned. But I'm still happy for him. I think that he does have some talent, and he does deserve a spot and an opportunity in TNA. So I'm happy for him, and if anything, we got Joey Ryan out of Gut Check, so I would say that that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm not surprised at all about the other guys not being seen. And it's the same thing with Tough Enough. WWE tries to use this gimmick to bring in new stars, and then you never hear from them again. It's just how it goes, and it's unfortunate, but that's just how WWE and TNA operate. This is from Richie Koala. Hey Aaron, in your opinion, which superstars were the best Intercontinental and European champion? My opinion for both championships would be William Regal. He held the titles with such pride and honor. Please answer in video. When I think of guys that held the title with pride and honor, like Bret Hart really comes to mind, because he would always hold up the belt and kiss the belt, and he acted like it was a big deal, like it was his life. So I loved Bret Hart as Intercontinental Champion, European Champion, the first one, British Bulldog. I thought he was a great representative for the European title. And I thought D'Lo Brown did a good job. And even Al Snow, when Al Snow would come out and every week he would represent a different country, I thought that was a really cool gimmick. And other Intercontinental Champions, of course, Randy Savage and Mr. Perfect and Chris Jericho. The list goes on. I mean, there have been a lot of great Intercontinental and European champions, no doubt about it. This is from Dan 2007. Hey Aaron, what are your thoughts on the match between RVD and Chris Benoit from SummerSlam 2002? I remember it being a very good match between the two of them. Your thoughts? It wasn't all that memorable, but I mean, it was a very solid match, and that was the thing that made SummerSlam 2002 so great. Top to bottom, you really had a very strong card, and there was no bad match on the show. Every match delivered in the ring, and it was just one of the best pay-per-views in WWE history. There was one good match after another, so it wasn't the best match ever, and there were definitely better matches on the show, but it definitely helped the overall card and made SummerSlam 2002 one of the best ever. This is from Big Papa Gazan. Hey Aaron, at one time the NWA title was as coveted as the WWE title. Nowadays it's still around, but nobody really cares. When and how do you think such a great championship lost its significance? I think it lost its significance when the dump truck came outside while I'm recording a video, but I'm just going to try to wing it here. I thought it started to lose its prestige around the time that Ric Flair left WCW/NWA and jumped to WWE, and he brought the title with him. That really hurt, and of course, even going back before that, when NWA just merged into WCW, and the whole Ted Turner thing. And then certainly by the time that Shane Douglas threw down the NWA title, I mean, that was really a sign that the NWA was a thing of the past. And, you know, people have tried to keep the NWA legacy alive. But, I mean, it's just been so long. It hasn't really meant anything. And I think you just got to let it go at some point. All right, that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A Video. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. Tell a friend on Facebook or Twitter. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Survivor Series. We'll be having coverage of TNA Turning Point this Sunday night. Your source for all that, NoDQ.com. And I'll see you next time for more No DQ&A Video.